Apologize for the delay. We'd like to now call to order the Guthrie Public Schools Board of Education regular monthly meeting for July 10th, 2017. Roll call, please.
Salee.
Here.
Pearson.
Here.
Pennington. Davis.
Here.
Watts.
Here.
Smedley.
Here.
Bennett Johnson.
Here.
Madam President, we have a quorum.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item 5. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Agenda item 6, comments to the board by registered citizens.
We don't know.
Any comments to the board from other board members? Agenda item 7, superintendent's report.
First thing I wanted to start with is a bit of a construction update. We gave a fairly extensive one in property committee, and the work at Central is complete. We are going to get some sod for the front of that. That's a part that's separate from the contract. The dirt work is continuing at Charter Oak, not as fast as I would like, but construction never goes as fast as I would like. We've been hampered somewhat by the weather, and hopefully we can get some dry weather and get that dirt moved where we need to. Today, I attended, along with several of our staff, the Engage Oklahoma conference at Yukon High School. That's put on by the state superintendent. They have various locations throughout the state. Yukon was the closest one to Guthrie, and so that's where I was today. And there were several of our teachers there. So that's and they do that on their own, and very good of them to go enrich their craft in the middle of the summer. We continue to work with the Logan County District Attorney's Office on refining procedures to improve attendance, and the DA's office is planning to have a booth at our centralized enrollment to communicate to families the seriousness of school attendance. So we look forward to that continued partnership there. And the last thing, our carryover balance as of June 30th was $2.4 million. That figure includes the cuts of almost $500,000 that we absorbed this year. Last year, the carryover was $1.97 million. And again, to remember, for every benefit of everyone, the carryover funds are necessary because we do not receive property tax payments until later on in the year. And so that's our operating fund and our cash flow until we can get those local funds in. The key thing here was 2 years ago it was $2.6 million. So we have basically, this shows that we've weathered the financial storm that was placed in front of us a year ago. And I remember giving the report of where we were going to cut a year ago, and we had a lot of lively discussion about that. But our goal was to end up where we have ended up. And so going forward, we're going to be very cautious because despite these good numbers, much of the 2018 state budget's built on revenue generators that are facing legal scrutiny. And the most important to watch for education funding is House Bill 2433. And that bill added 1.25% sales tax to the sale of an automobile. It's expected to generate almost $13 million to support the House Bill 1017 fund. And so the bottom line conclusion to all this is, we're breathing a sigh of relief, but we're approaching the year with caution. Because we have faced this before, and these mid-year cuts are devastating, and we have very little that we can do with a mid-year cut. So good news, but still cautious. That's my report.
Thank you. Agenda item number 8, the consent agenda. All the following items, items listed of routine nature normally approved by the board meetings will be approved by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of the items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, action on the following items. Does anybody have anything they need to withdraw? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
That would be good. Thank
Second.
you. Move right along. How about roll call now?
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Consent, or business agenda item, or agenda item number 9, the business agenda. A, recommendation, consideration, and action to approve Ms. Carmen Walters as the authorized official for Guthrie Public Schools to sign any federal claims for reimbursement from the State Department of Education.
This is an item that we became a federal requirement a year ago, and so annually we place this on the agenda to give Carmen the authorization from the board to sign off on federal claims.
I make a motion we approve Ms. Carmen Walters as the authorized official for GPS to sign any federal claims for reimbursement from the State Department of Education.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9B, recommendation, consideration, action to approve Ms. Angie Smedley as the authorized official for Guthrie Public Schools to sign any special education reimbursement claims from the State Department of Education for Project 621, 623, 625, 641, and 642.
Very similar to the item for federal programs, this is same consideration that we give for our special ed director, which is Angie Smedley now. Recommend approval of this, page 108 in the packet.
I move we approve Miss Angie Smedley as the authorized official for Guthrie Public Schools to sign any special education reimbursement claims from the State Department of Education for Project 621, 623, 625, 641, and 642.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9C, recommendation, consideration, action to approve Ms. Michelle Chappell as the authorized representative to implement and administer the purchasing card program for Guthrie Public Schools.
This is an annual authorization, and recommend approval for that. Page 109 in the packet.
I move we approve Ms. Michelle Chappell as the authorized representative to implement and administer the purchasing card program for Guthrie Public Schools.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9D, recommendation, consideration, action upon application for conducting cooperative activities with St. Mary's Catholic School of Guthrie.
This is an item that we've done for several years, and we allow the St. Mary's students to participate with our students in junior high athletics and sports that are listed below, and recommend approval of this. This is an item that we bring to the board each year.
I make a motion that we approve the Cooperative Activities Program with St. Mary's Catholic School of Guthrie.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9E, recommendation, consideration, and action upon school bus riders handbook for the 2017-2018 school year.
Page 111 is the red line version of this with the changes noted, and recommend approval. And if there are questions, Mr. Ogle is available to answer them.
I make a motion we approve the School Bus Riders Handbook for 2017-2018.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9F, recommendation, consideration, and action upon the Activity Fund Handbook for the 2017-2018 school year.
Michelle, we had one change that we were going to make to this, correct?
It was just the verbiage
Yeah.
we were going to rewrite.
Page 6. What was the verbiage that you came up with on that?
We stated that all receipts should be totaled and reconciled to the currency currents and checks received, and that a farmer's and merchant bank deposit slip will be completed to accompany the money bag and dropped off at the farmer's and merchant's branch at 1800 East Oklahoma Avenue.
There's a little bit of verbiage, and this is page 129 of your packet, that we wanted to make a little bit of a change on from what ended up presented to the board. And the rest of it, we are fine with. We caught that a little bit late when it got in your packet.
I move we approve the Activity Fund Handbook for 2017-18 with the changes provided by Michelle Chappell.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, basically, we're just combining the 2 bullet points.
No, that's
Or-
a rewrite the second bullet point.
Okay, got it. All right, thank you.
And my apologies, one of the things with this board packet, we had such a tight window that it was all hands on deck to get this together, and hindsight, maybe we should have moved the board meeting later, but it is what it is. And I think, other than this and one other little thing, I think we got it all in hand.
We're good.
Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9G, recommendation, consideration, action upon the junior high school student handbook for the 2017-2018 school year.
Page 159 of your packet is the junior high handbook. And I think Mr. Ogle, is there anything you want to talk about on this?
No, I think the biggest, well, I guess yes, the question that we had was dealing with the honors classes at the junior high, and we're not taking any rigor away. We went back because of the amount of staff, so we don't overcrowd the classes, and so that was discussed in curriculum. So other than that, that was really the only change that was major in handbook.
I make a motion we approve the junior high school student handbook for 2017-2018.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9H, recommendation, consideration, action upon Guthrie High School in favor alternative school student handbook for 2017-2018.
This is on page 195 of your packet, and similar, Mr. Ogle, Mr. LeGrand are both here if you have any questions. We had robust discussion about these changes in curriculum committee as well.
I make a motion we approve the Guthrie High School / favor alternative school student handbook for 2017-2018.
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question. Just, I know if it says the third offense suspension from school for the remainder of the year, is there a reason why we don't call it expulsion anymore?
I've been asked this by some parents because they said, for some reason, they want to hear that word expelled. And I've tried to explain to them that it's the same thing for the remainder of the year. But I just wondered when, and if there is a reason why we've changed the terminology.
It's been that way for a long time, and my best recollection is you can't truly expel a student
Okay.
any longer because that has an indefinite term to it.
Okay,
And so there has to be a length of the suspension.
okay. Thank you.
And I'm sure that Mr. Moyer could provide a lot more
That's good.
color commentary on
Yeah.
that.
Probably so.
I asked, and that's good for me. I have an answer, so thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9I, recommendation, consideration, action upon Guthrie High School Course Description Handbook for 2017-2018.
It's 225 of your packet, and we had, again, a robust discussion in curriculum committee about this as well. And Mr. LeGrand is here if there are any questions that you have about it.
I move we approve the Guthrie High School Course Description Handbook for 2017-2018.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9J, recommendation, consideration, action upon memorandum of understanding between Meridian Technology Center and Guthrie Public Schools for supplemental funding for Guthrie Middle School Gateway to Technology programs for 8th grade students for 2017-2018.
This is an item that we bring to the board annually to renew part of our partnership with Meridian Technology Center, and provides $50,000 worth of funding to the program that we have at Guthrie Junior High. Recommend approval.
Do they not require that the 7th graders take that, or is that just something that Rainwater has just implemented?
Doug, in the past, there was no requirement that we had. It was an elective.
Yes.
And there's no requirement that any student, any group of students take it. That's what, but we're trying to funnel more kids in there. And I don't know if you want to
Yeah.
fill in the blanks on that.
It was basically just to make sure that we had an elective to get those kids involved with STEM classes, and Dr. Major kind of left that to us, how that would be implemented. And when we talked to him last year, some of the changes that we were wanting to make, he was very upfront. Is anything that we could do that would get more kids in the program, to get them interested in coming and being part of their STEM program at Meridian, he was all for it. So.
Okay, so that's
Whether
why.
that was all 8th graders and doing it as just an elective, or putting it in as a part of a core, he was all for it. Whether it was all 7th, 8th, the more kids we could get, the better.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
I make a motion we approve the memorandum of understanding between Meridian Technology Center and Guthrie Public Schools for supplemental funding for Guthrie Middle School Gateway to Technology programs for 8th grade students for 2017-2018.
Second.
Any others discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9K, recommendation, consideration, action upon loan agreement with Child Nutrition Fund for 2017-2018.
This is page 270 of your board packet, and this is an annual item that we bring to the board this time of year to provide necessary operating funds for startup of child nutrition, and then the loan is paid back as earnings allow.
I make a motion that we approve the loan agreement with Child Nutrition Fund for 2017-18.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9L, recommendation, consideration, action upon a renewal agreement with Great Plains Coca-Cola Bottling Company for 2017-2018.
This is our annual renewal of this agreement. It's a 5-year agreement that provides for the annual renewals with Great Plains, and recommend approval.
I make a motion that we approve the agreement with Great Plains Coca-Cola Bottling Company for 2017-18.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9M, recommendation, consideration, action upon a renewal agreement with Imperial Vending for snack vending for 2017-2018.
This is the other part of that agreement, and that is with Imperial Vending, which is a subsidiary of Great Plains Coca-Cola. Recommend approval with that as well.
I make a motion, we approve the renewal agreement with Imperial Vending for snack vending for 2017-2018.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9N, recommendation, consideration, and action upon renewing contract with ImageWorks of Oklahoma, Inc. for district copiers.
This is the last year of that agreement. It's an annual renewal that we have with ImageWorks, and recommend approval of that. It is, they have been good copiers, and we have enjoyed our work with them.
I move renewing the contract with ImageWorks of Oklahoma, Inc. for the district copiers.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes.
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 9O, recommendation, consideration, and action upon approval of agreement with Hilborn and Weidman to serve as bond counsel and disclosure counsel to Guthrie Public Schools.
I've asked Mr. Wolf to join us this evening for some discussion about this item. And in your commentary, there have been some changes, and I kind of alluded to that in my report last month to the board. There have been some changes by the SEC with regard to how schools sell bonds and have bond sales, and then the suggestion and recommendation from municipal finance has been to have an engagement with a bond counsel and disclosure counsel. Rosenstein, Fist, and Ringel also echoed that recommendation as well, and so I've asked John to come here and talk to you a little bit about it, and then have some time for questions if necessary.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You guys were at a really good pace, so everything great there.
Don't ruin it for us, John. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't ruin that pace.
Just kidding.
I will be glad to answer any questions that any of you have. The main thing that I wanted to address is, and I have handouts in case we get into any area that you want a little more information, but I think the first area I want to go to is there have been new board members that have taken seat over the last 3 or 4 years. We started the process of the last bond election about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Pardon me?
May 15th.
15.
Wow, it seems a lot further back than that. But
We haven't figured
I want to explain a little bit of who we are and what we do. And in the industry, what a financial advisor means, and address just a few areas of changes in regulations with the Securities and Exchange Commission that's happened since Dodd-Frank was passed. And Dodd-Frank came out of it was the fallout of the crisis with Wall Street and subprime lending and securitized mortgages and so forth. And there was a great effort by Congress to try to enact legislation that would ensure that banks and others that are involved in the finance industry, you don't get into a situation where before. And so they provided they expanded outside of the corporate area and got into municipal bonds and financing done by municipal entities. Municipal, I mean, state, county, school district, city, so forth. And they imposed additional regulations on parties that weren't regulated before. And one of those parties is what we do. There was a creation of a municipal advisor from your end. It's what we do, financial advising. But there were regulations put on us. In July 2014, we had to register with the Securities and Exchange Commission, first time in history. And June 23rd of last year, they passed a MSRB, Municipal Securities Rulemaking Board, which governs, they create all the rules for everyone in the bond industry. They actually enacted requirements upon municipal advisors. And the essence of that particular rule is that we act in fiduciary capacity with you, which you would say, I would hope you would act in that capacity, but there are a lot of laid out rules as to ensure fiduciary responsibility to you. And part of that responsibility is to advise you if we think you're at risk. And the question might be asked, what's changed? Why are we looking at hiring a bond attorney or disclosure counsel now when we did use one in the past? The changes in the regs that went into effect June 23rd of last year as far as requirements that in preparing and offering a document, and I have some very good handouts. I think might be the best handout is an article in a periodical that's in our industry. It's called the Bond Buyer. And it states, and I'll have this available for you, it basically stated over the last 3 years, this article was in the summer of last year, over the last 3 years, 18 entities have been fined or have been issued cease and desist orders for violations of the Securities and Exchange Act, as far as fraudulent information being shown in the official statement. And fraudulent can be looked at as, did you make a material misrepresentation? Did what you have, and I have copies of the official statements if we want to go there. This is the official statement or the prospectus offering document we did on the bonds we did last year. This is your document. You are responsible, although you hire professionals to help compile this. This is yours. Any material misstatements in here, you can come back and say, well, you know, our finance department worked with our financial advisor, and we didn't know, and you know that information, we don't know where that came from. That won't cut it with the SEC. They're going to make sure that you know everything that's in here, that there are no material misstatements. Now, there's not a lot of complicated information. I mean, we send it to, every time we've done a bond issue, to, since you guys have engaged insurance, we provide this to you, provided to superintendent, provided to Dennis in the past. So please review, make sure you don't see something that's not accurate. We compile information. A lot of this is tabular, very basic. It's not engineering. It's very simple. Pulling information off of the district's information, county information, assess valuation, general obligation bonds, or some of the simplest bonds, because you just pay back that foreign tax. And there's not a lot more that is associated with diligence, other than the update all the economic, financial information that's provided to us by your finance department as far as audit financials. And we put all that information in, because this is what we do for a living. We pile it, put it in here, and then we sit down and stack. Well, SEC is focused, and I have an article where they have had at least one instance where a city had a mayor that said, yeah, I read this, or a school board president, for instance, I read this, or they said, yeah, I signed the certificate. They said, yeah, I know what's here. We understand that this, you know, they're doing it exactly. They fined that mayor $10,000 for not reading something that they signed and said they read. The SEC has taken a position, they have beefed up their enforcement division dramatically over the last 4 years, and they're looking at every single transaction potentially that's out there. And so we do not want the district to be in a position where you don't have an attorney that in the past, this is all the documents that you have associated with the bond transaction. And I'm going to use an analogy that I might not be an analogy, I don't know if any of you are realtors. But if you know of any realtors or relate to any realtors, you say, well, a realtor, other than the title company, unless there's any other major issues, realtors don't need attorneys. In the bond industry, there are very professionals. There are financial advisors, there are bond attorneys that are experts in the area of federal tax law and state tax law. There are tax attorneys, there are disclosure counsels that are more familiar with what should be an official statement of this as to in order to comply with the Securities and Exchange Commission. What had happened in the past and is done predominantly throughout the United States, when you do a competitive general obligation bond issue, you go out, we put a package out for you, underwriter's bid. If this was a negotiated bond transaction like a city might do, where you are actually working with an underwriter, they bring in a disclosure attorney or what's called an underwriter's counsel, and they go through and beat you up over all of this, make sure it's all accurate. So what they try to do is to sit on your side, make sure everything that's listed and represented here is accurate. There's 90% of this, counsel won't really do anything but sit down with you and have, sit down with staff. And we'll sit down with the governing body if you want to attend and go through this second set of eyes, an attorney, bond counsel, go through and look at all of this, disclosure counsel, and make sure that everything's addressed in here that should be addressed to give you that comfort level. There are no instances, the question also might be asked if I were to use this. Well, where's the one-stop shop that does bond lawyer work, FA work, how can we get all that one-stop shop? The regs will not allow it. You're not going to find it anywhere. If you do, they're violating the Securities and Exchange Act. Those have to be separate. What we have done in the past, in this document here, there are 31 documents. 27 of these are documents and forms that are provided by the Attorney General's office. They're forms that they develop in a Word document. We fill in the blanks. We don't write any legal opinions. We don't give any legal advice. We just fill in the blanks. Supreme Court's rule, that's fine. But there are 4 documents in here, including this OS, that State Attorney General's office doesn't look at. It's not part of what they're required to look at. They don't sign off on the offering document or the official statement. And they don't sign off on what's called a continuing disclosure agreement, which is an agreement you sign every year that says if you don't do bonds every year, in your case for Guthrie, every year there's tables of information that gets updated with the SEC. Stop. Take a breather. There's a lot of extra requirements that are being made on issues of debt. County, state, cities, school districts, every level, to make sure that if you're issuing bonds and you have a bondholder that's relying on this, SEC just make sure it's accurate and make sure that anything in regards to securities or federal or state tax laws are complied with. And there are people that have greater expertise that our firm believes need to be involved in this process. Now, to go back to what we've done prior, the prior 2 issues that you've done with us is so was there not a bond opinion? I mean, how do these bonds get sold? Well, a lot of bonds are issued in Oklahoma and for quite a few years, decades and decades, where the school district actually had the purchaser that bid on bonds. That purchaser would go out and buy a bond opinion that, and we have that of our history where the bonds were sold, Bank A buys the bonds. Bank A will either call us or they've done business in Oklahoma and say, well, I want to get a bond opinion from a bond counsel just to say that it's tax exempt. I don't care if they've done all the diligence and gone through all the background and so forth, just provide me an opinion. That's what's happened in the past. And you might say, well, how do you pay for that? You pay for that because you get a higher interest rate quote because the broker-dealer buys this at a higher cost. I mean, it costs you. You pay a little higher interest rate. They turn around and resell at a lower interest rate, and that difference makes up the amount of money necessary to cover their cost of hiring a bond counsel. So the past, bond counsel was hired, but in a very limited capacity by the purchaser, but it costs you an interest rate. I've thrown a lot at you. We believe going forward, we've advised this with Tulsa schools who we represent, Union schools who we represent, and we also have done this with Barnesville schools and other school districts that we represent, that we believe that in order to protect your interests, that you need to engage Hilbert and Wyman, actually two capacities. Bond counsel to review all the documents, make sure everything looks okay, and disclosure counsel to review and do the necessary diligence to go through the official statement. And so they act in both capacities, and that's what's included in the scope of services and the agreement for the fee that they propose. They have the other disclosure services separately, and where they're actually already bond counsels, also schools, also Union schools, and they were engaged in those fees where you were between were 10,000 to 12,000. They said they would do both services for 10,000. Now we know this is a small issue or small district, but that's a minimal level of effort they're going to have to do. They're going to have exposure, so they would. So this isn't a scare. It's just to properly prepare you. It's incumbent upon us as an academic institution that you actually be told that we believe that the council needs to be involved, not on the back end of purchase or buys of bonds, but on the front end. I'll stop, be glad to answer any questions. Like I said, I have information that I can pass out.
One thing I'll mention, I shared in committee, John and I talked at length today as well on the side, but as soon as John called me and talked to me about this, I called Eric Nelson, Rosenstein, and they concurred with the recommendation. And when I spoke to him about the fees, he said that is a very economical fee for what they are doing. But Rosenstein does not do this. This is outside of their scope of their practice of that firm. So that's but they are familiar with this firm, and they have worked with this firm on similar issues.
We have how many more? Two more issues? How many more issues? One more issue? Okay, and then where does the 10,000 come from to pay them?
It comes out of the actual proceeds of the bonds. So as you pay us out proceeds, you pay them the proceeds.
And did you say SEC requirements, you cannot have counsel with your firm?
You cannot, a bond attorney cannot act as a municipal advisor. It's SEC regulation. So you can't have the same individual acting as a it's protect your interest because you hire us from a financial perspective, and then you hire bond counsel to ensure that everything you represent in your documents, that you represent in your official statement, that the bonds are tax exempt, which is key, and that the bonds comply with state laws for state tax exemption, and comply with state laws for the requirement of issuing GO bonds in Oklahoma because there's specific state law requirements on how you do GO bonds. And although those standard forms that are provided by the AG's office, we actually fill in the blanks, but it's of value to have bond counsel review those documents that we're filling in. When I say fill in the blanks, it's not quite like, if you're in the financial industry, if you're a banker, or if you're in the loan industry, you may have a standard 3-page promissory note that was developed 20 years ago, and it's just boilerplate. Bond industry, it's not boilerplate. You have to have these professionals involved to ensure and protect your interests in the bonds that are sold, that they're being compliant with federal tax law, that they're not going to lose the tax exemption, and also they're in compliance with SEC regulations. And a lot of that came around as far as June 23rd of last year. They imposed a rule, G42, on financial advisors and municipal advisors to ensure that there's basically all the things that we have to advise our clients of. And there's a lot more focus by the SEC in areas. Since there's previous, the last 3 years there have been 18 findings, the previous 1999 through 13, the previous 14 years there were only 11. So
if we were to approve this contract, do they provide or have some sort of bond or errors and omissions type insurance where we're protected as a district? Or is this just simply a second opinion with no additional guarantees?
Well, they're going to sit on your side. They're going to sit on your side if at any point in time the SEC comes in and says, you know what, we think you misrepresented in this OS. I don't know what errors and omissions, this is a bond firm in Tulsa that does the majority of all school district bond opinions. I don't know what their errors and omissions liability is.
And so then the next question I would have is, I mean, cost is $10,000. So I have a bit of a problem approving such a contract without a request for proposal, or RFP process. And I know you're acting as a fiduciary for the district, but I think if we're not going to have an RFP, we have to ask the questions of what's your association with this firm. I know you're a fiduciary. I know there's that separation like you're stating, but I'm not a big fan of approving a $10,000 contract without an RFP for such services.
And I understand that this is an area that at this point in time, this is a transitioning area. And in order for you to, for the school board to become comfortable and think that we don't know if this is the best deal that we can get, certainly, it's up to you right now in Oklahoma, as far as we're aware. And our relationship with Hillborn and Whiting is this, is we know that they do bond opinions. 95% of our work, we work with another bond counsel. 5% we work with cities or school districts that they are the bond attorney on that particular issue. As far as disclosure counsel right now, there is not disclosure counsel that I'm aware of in Oklahoma. We have worked with a disclosure counsel in a lot less limited capacity that would charge you more than that, and they would only review a portion of your OS, basically 1 page. To review your full OS, probably talking $50,000 to $100,000. There's a significant liability out there, and there's not a lot of attorneys that want to get into that area unless they've been in the profession for quite some time. We're just suggesting to you that before you move forward on the next issue, that we feel this is where you need to stand. And I understand from your sitting on your side that this is not normal legwork. This is not something that most industries deal with. I'm being frank with you as a school board. This is an area that is beyond probably what you're used to working with. you deal with engineers, you deal with federal dollars. This area is highly regulated. And our concern is that you have council that has done this in the past, and that's had, I think, a very reasonable fee. But we don't have the dog in this. We just want to protect your interests. If you decide you want to go out and pursue and put out RFP for disclosure council and bond council, that's your problem.
So essentially, they would be reviewing your work. So, I mean, are you unloading any of your responsibilities? Are they just simply reviewing it and fact-checking what you've compiled, from what I understand?
Okay.
How much time are they spending with the district to gather information to provide to you? Or is it?
Here's the actual process of what will happen with bond council. The bond council is going to look at reviewing 27 of these documents that are in here. They're going to review, in the past, Oklahoma school districts have determined there are other FAs in this state. There are 4 or 5 different FA firms. For quite some time, decades, there have been transactions done where there was no monitoring. The only monitoring was hired in the structure that I mentioned before. There was a determination, well, we may not need to monitor. Our opinion is that we represent 140 clients in Oklahoma. More than any other FA in the state. We represent 20 of the 30 largest cities. We represent the second largest school district, the 5th largest school district. And our concern is that, as we prepared these documents in the past, is that there are 2 more documents, continuing disclosure agreement earlier. And there's also a new reg that's come out by the Internal Revenue Service on pricing that monitoring has to sign off. There are new regs happening all the time. And that just went into effect in June, that we're acting as a fiduciary, but acting as a professional that's worked with you for years. As we don't feel that you can move forward without these professionals. And they're going to review our work, they're going to review and possibly rewrite the continuing disclosure agreement. I don't think they will, but they're going to look at the continuing disclosure agreement, which is supposed to be prepared by bond council. What we've done in the past is taken one thing, another monitoring, where school districts hired that monitoring to prepare. We took that document and used that. And so we've done all of that in order to keep at the level of the issuance expense. We just got to a point where we want an attorney reviewing your continuing disclosure agreement to address the new requirements of pricing on bonds, where underwriters actually buy bonds and they resell, and they have to give an interest rate number to the Internal Revenue Service. There's a new rate thinking on that. So we want bond counsel to step in a role that's not, they've not stepped into before with school districts in Oklahoma.
Right. So John, if we were doing another bond issue and stuff, you would make this advice up front, this needs to be added in, this is part of, from now on. From now on.
For every one of our clients going forward on bond transactions, we're reckoning, school districts are the only entities, except for a few in Oklahoma, that a great majority don't have a bond attorney engaged by the district. They don't do any diligence on the front end. It's all on the back end. And that day and age, we believe, provides for, puts this district in position too much risk.
And therefore, putting the district, does it put us at risk as board members too, individually?
I can pass out. I have, if you hire the professionals, and they advise you, I mean, I'm advising you to hire bond counsel. If you have bond counsel, if you always use bond counsel, then you rely on that expertise. But from the SEC side, they want to make sure that you perform the proper diligence to hire correct professionals and that you did what you needed to do in selling those bonds, so there's no misrepresentation in the offering document. And so we're doing everything we can to put you guys in that position. And there is, I'm trying to explain this a little bit way. This is a quick changing. It's not, well, we've known for years, this is happening nationwide. And everyone in our industry, the brokers that buy your bonds, the bond attorneys that read your bonds, the tax attorneys, the disclosure councils, and us, we're all maneuvering, trying to figure out what do we need to do and how do we protect the interests of our client. Here's the thing. Municipal advisor, we're registered with the SEC. We had to take an exam. We've all taken our exam. We all passed the exam. So we're all registered. We have a fiduciary relationship with you. All the other professionals do not have to have a sole professional or fiduciary treaty with you. None of the other the buyer bonds, bond attorneys, attorneys can represent, have equal interest in both who's buying the bonds and who's selling you. We have no interest, and so because of this fiduciary standard, we have to meet all these requirements. And one of those is to advise our client when we believe that if there's any other professionals that need to be involved in order so that you can be represented. That's what we do. That doesn't answer Mr. Lee's question as to why don't we go out and just, and look and see what's out there, and maybe we can find a better deal. And if we don't, or we let those parties bid, I can't tell you if you were to put that out for an RFP, what kind of response you would get. I will tell you right now, as far as I'm aware, there are no other attorneys acting as disclosure counsel in the state of Oklahoma. And you're getting into an area of law firms that charge $500 to $1,000 when you step into this area. It's unfortunate, it seems unfair, but it's all to ensure that the buyer of your bonds gets the best product that your interests are protected. So.
Sharon, to kind of answer this question, I asked that of Eric Nelson and John Miller separately. They are of the opinion that a fine levied by the SEC could be levied personally to a movement. And also, Travis, to your point, I'm concerned as well. I know the tenor of this board, I know the tenor of this district, and I guess the greatest concern, besides the personal liability of the board members and the liability of the district, and obviously I have an obligation to share that as well as the superintendent. But the other part of this is timeline. We're already pushing back funding of the bond sale somewhat, and I would assume that an RFP would push it back further on, and that's why the first question I asked Eric when I determined that they did agree there was a need was the reputation of this firm and the relationship that our attorneys have with this firm as well. And because I wanted that to be present so that if there is something, a problem down the line, we have.
No, I mean, I hope Mr. Wolf didn't take offense to my comments, because I have a great deal of respect for you. And you, as you discussed your fiduciary responsibility to us, I can't help but state we have a fiduciary duty to the district. So to have an RFP process, if professional services, we're not required by board policy, but we also have a fiduciary responsibility to the community. So that's why I get concerned and why I would prefer to have had more time to maybe have that discussion, and rather than this late moment, middle of the summer, before we realize suddenly, oh, we got an emergency, we need to do something. But I wasn't challenging you or your relationship. I'm just, as a board member, my fiduciary responsibility is to ask, what is your relationship with this firm? Why are we not putting this out there for our RFP process? Yeah, so I mean, I'm just trying to ask the question that should be obvious.
Yeah, I try to address, obviously, your side would be asking. It's just really I would ask that. I'd say, here's all the things we did. And when I mentioned, this is an area, I hope it didn't come across as so sophisticated that I want to come across, it's an area of regulation that is getting more attention as far as compliance in areas of fines and cease and desist. And cease and desist order, I think you might help me understand what that is. It means you're going to cease issuing any more loans until you comply with what you may have screwed up on, or you cannot issue any more loans going forward. That's how serious this is. I don't know of any other areas outside of what's going on with funding from the state level as serious as this. If you were to lose that ability to get in the future, you saw what it was like going years after year and how this was fair. But on the other side, I'm not here to say we got to hurry and do this and the pressure's on to do this. I will state this because acting as your fiduciary, acting in that capacity, if you go out and seek RFPs for that, the council, and you come back and there are more, and if I don't know if Bill White would actually propose, I assume they probably would, but if they don't propose and they decide not to do service with you, and you can't find disclosure counsel, we won't work with you as financial advisors if you don't have bond counsel and disclosure counsel. That's how important it is to you guys.
And so it's fair to state, based on what I've heard, that you're not aware of any other major law firm doing this kind of work in the state of Oklahoma.
Not in Oklahoma that's providing this. Doesn't mean there won't be some that won't over the years to come. This is new, it's only maybe a year out. Now, we ask other firms like there's tax law firms. There's an office in the city, tax law lawyers that do deals in Oklahoma, do deals in New York, and all over. We ask that tax lawyer that we work with on other transactions about tax lawyer we worked with Stillwater when we did the power plant a few years ago. We worked on that transaction. Hey, would you be interested? We checked around. We wanted to have 2 or 3 or 4, so we would recommend those to our clients. And that particular attorney said, just the time, exposure, and the fee would not be reasonable for our clients. And we had other attorneys charge $500 to $900 an hour, and they only looked at one section of the disclosure section. And so we felt this was a reasonable fee, and we wish we had. I wish we had not had more time. And if you may have more time, you decide it's relevant. I'm ready. Answer the question.
Thank you.
Can we get the additional information about the errors and omissions types that they would provide? If they have that, if their liability is in that capacity, if something should come
Well,
up?
certainly I can ask for that and see what their level of liability insurance is.
Absolutely.
It's not much at all. I just don't know what it would be.
Right.
Dollar amount. They have, they write tax opinions every week, so I mean, certainly check with them.
So are you saying that moving forward from now on, we will have a bond financial advisor, and then we have to seek separate bond counsel? your firm will never in the future hire a bond counsel because SEC rules will not allow that. Is that correct?
Right, SEC
Okay.
rules do not let the bond attorney also be the municipal advisor.
Be a, be
They have
a,
to have dual roles.
an employee
But-
of that firm, okay.
But to be honest with you,
It's,
I don't know in the last 30 years, if there is a bond counsel firm that's also financial advisor, because it's just not, it can't be a one-stop shop with this industry. There's too many different regulations that go with what we do, and what bond attorneys have to work with. And bond attorneys, when I say bond attorneys, it's a misnomer. Sometimes someone will refer to someone as an expert tax law. They're special tax counsels. I have another handout. In most transactions, you have 10 professionals involved in this type of transaction. School districts in Oklahoma, they try to narrow it down. It got narrowed down to the financial advisor and then bond attorney being hired by the purchaser. Then you have trustee, paying agent. We believe that is all.
Do you believe that this would get us more favorable interest rates on our bond sales?
I will tell you, because you're paying for the fee out of your bonds proceeds, it's $10,000 that you can't be using on facilities. You will automatically have a lower interest rate. I can tell you, it will be lower because the underwriter will not have to pay for that bond opinion, and therefore they charge you a lesser interest rate. It may be, it'll be reflected in total interest over time, what it took to pay for their opinion. And I don't know what they paid for $11 million, I think they probably paid the purchaser $6,000 to $7,000 for that opinion. And that was just for a quick and dirty, we looked at the transcript, we got this, we looked at it, and it didn't prepare anything, and here's our opinion, and they get that. SEC is now learning how this all works, because this is an area they haven't been focused until recently. They were all in the corporate side, they weren't really focused, because you're not required. You are not under the 33 and 34 Securities Acts. You're not required to, you're not registered with the SEC. The bonds are so, because you're a municipal entity. And you don't have to get their approval to sell bonds. And so the industry, the SEC believe the industry is kind of running rampant. And they say, well, we've got to create all these rules. There's now like 49 rules that have been created in the last decade. So we're going to have to monitor this houses. And so
they've had nothing to do for so long. But it just concerns me that it would affect us each individually too, so I mean, I don't want that.
Let me address that, so you can take that for a moment, address that real quick, in a minute or less. Is you rely on Dr. Simpson. Dr. Simpson relies on his finance staff, and you hire professionals to help you with this. We have compiled information, we put it on there. Staff reviews to make sure it's all accurate. And it's accurate as, the information. We source everything. We got this from the county, here's what we got. And actually, we provide that, last couple of years, Dennis has that, here's where we got all the information. And so we provide that, but you rely on professionals do all their diligence. What they don't want is negligence on your part as a board, that you approve, because when we come to you on the next meeting, assuming we come back to the next meeting with setting sell day. Prior to that, when you get your packet, you're going to see this was for 17. And you're going to get that in your packet. We can get into a couple days earlier than that. But what you approve that following week is required by the SEC, is that you deem as near final as a governing body. That means pretty much everything in there is about pretty much everything that should be in there. It allows for you to make some errors, or put a 4 instead of 3, but it pretty much you review. And so what they try to keep from happening is, and there's been a lot of abuse nationwide. There have been, I don't know if you're familiar with the city of Miami, SEC fined $1 million. they find the mayor, they find the CFO. They're coming out there and say that you can't just kind of put everyone in OS and have investors say, you know, I relied on this when I bought these bonds, because this is out there under a portal called MS, that's MSRB, it's out there online, and I look at it, and they say one thing, and then I find out it's something else. And it's a lot of little checks, you know, dockets, cross your T's, and it seems when we're going to find, until everyone gives this the proper respect that it deserves. And they can't look at every deal, but we don't know which deals to look at, which ones to that.
It's like IRS. Yeah. Call the question. I make a motion, I'm sorry, you two? Oh, if anybody got, well, we can still ask questions after I make a motion. I make a motion, we approve the agreement with Hilborn and Weedman to serve as bond counsel and disclosure counsel to Guthrie Public Schools.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Celine.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 10, proposed executive session for the purpose of discussing employment of personnel, FMLA request, resignation and separation from employment, and transfer of position requests, all as set out on the personnel reports, extra duty assignments as listed for 2017-2018, support personnel handbook for 2017-2018, administrator's handbook and salary schedule for 2017-2018, and teacher negotiations for 2017-2018, disclosure of which information would violate the confidentiality requirements of the state and/or federal law, all pursuant to 25 Oklahoma statute, section 307B, 1, 2, and 7.
I move we go into an executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Celine.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Okay, this will acknowledge the board's return to open session. Only the items in agenda item number 10 were discussed in executive session and no votes were taken. This shall constitute the executive session minutes. Agenda item 11. Vote on action as set out by the personnel reports.
I move we approve the action set out on our personnel reports on page 291.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Celine.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item number 12, recommendation, consideration, and action for statutory waiver deregulation, which allows Ms. Nika Henry to be employed as library media specialist at Guthrie Junior High School.
This is a requirement by the State Department of Education for deregulation. She has teacher certification and is pursuing the library media specialist, and this is a required board action in order to be in compliance with the State Department accreditation.
I make a motion that we approve the statutory waiver deregulation, which allows Ms. Nika Henry to be employed as the library media specialist at Guthrie Junior High School.
Second.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Celine.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 13, action upon recommendation of extra duty assignments as listed in 2017-2018. Or 2017-2018.
I make a motion that we approve the extra duty assignments as listed for 2017-18.
Second. Second. Yeah.
Oh, roll call, please.
Celine.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 14, recommendation, consideration, and action upon support personnel handbook for the 2017-2018.
I move we approve the support personnel handbook for 2017-18.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 15, recommendation, consideration, and action upon Administrator's Handbook and Salary Schedule, not including the superintendent for 2017-2018.
I move we approve the Administrator's Handbook and Salary Schedule, not including the Superintendent for 2017-2018.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item number 16, recommendation, consideration, action to accept any resignations offered since the posting of the agenda.
I have one resignation for your consideration. Fourth grade teacher at Guess, Charlie Brown. Recommend that you accept this resignation.
I move that we accept the resignation of Ms. Charlie Brown.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.
Agenda item 17, discussion and possible action on new business not known about or could not have been reasonably foreseen at the time of agenda posting.
We have none.
Agenda item 18,
Madam President, I move we adjourn.
Second.
roll call, please.
Salee.
Yes.
Pearson.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Watts.
Yes?
Smedley.
Yes.
Bennett Johnson.
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays.